and the Halifax team hoping to end a 5-match losing sequence against Leeds Rhinos. It is exactly 3 years, March 2000, since they last beat Leeds in Super League. It was 24-16, and coincidentally, down here at the Shay. Leeds Rhinos, though, aiming for a 7th straight win at the start of a year that holds so much promise. They haven't enjoyed such an encouraging start to a season since 1985-86, when they claimed the 6 wins under Peter Fox. Let's take a check on the Halifax side. No late shocks. Finnerty at fullback, Greenwood, Donlan, Clayton and Halliwell, Moana and Dorahy. Forwards, Hobson, Lawless the skipper, Birchall, Cruikshank, Brocklehurst, McMenemy. Just one change to the starting lineup. Paul Davidson takes his place on the substitutes bench, along with Daryl Cardis, Sean Penkovic and Anthony Susu. And the coach is Tony Anderson. Now the Rhinos, Connolly at fullback, Calderwood, Walker, Senior, Cummins, Duneman, he was here at Halifax last year, and young Rob Burrow as the scrum half. Forwards, McDonald, Diskin, McDermott, Poaching and Adamson. No David Ferner, he's out injured. Sinfield, the skipper, and loose forward. And on the bench, Maguire, Feather, Jones, Buchanan and Dowes, and the coach, Darryl Powell, of course. So Kevin Sinfield leading his men out, really is revelling in the captaincy of the Rhinos. Only 22 years of age, Kevin Sinfield. They won here 38 points to 10 last July. The last time they won 7 in a row at the start of the season, 1972-73, when they were then defending champions. But the title has been the holy grail for Leeds for such a long, long time. But there are a lot of people in the game tipping Leeds for honours this year. With men like Connolly, Duneman and Ferner in the squad these days, why not? Tonight, Halifax up against some 300-1 outsiders. Before the season began, they won at London. They were written off by everyone before the season started. They got that victory at Griffin Park, 26-22, but since then, they've lost to Castleford here and against the Bulls last weekend, and they conceded 11 tries at Odsal. Johnny Lawless, though, bags of experience. He rejoined the club in 2001. He left for Sheffield in 1995, and now he's back here with the Halifax team. And their supporters, well, they might have been written off by everybody, including the bookies, but, well, don't tell anyone that down in this particular part of West Yorkshire. There is nothing that any club in the county of Yorkshire likes better than putting one over on the Rhinos. Tonight's big match referee is Steve Ganson. He's controlling things out in the middle. Could be quite a battle, this, Steve-O.
Oh, without a doubt. And the Halifax pack will really get into the faces of this Leeds outfit. Leeds know it. They know they arrive here red-hot favourites. And as you said, Eddie, anything can happen in sport.
High hanging kickoff. It's a misty night here at the Shay. This is McDonald's for the Rhinos. They have first use of the football. Diskin is the man in a dummy half. Here's Willie Poaching, filling the shoes tonight of David Ferner, the former Wigan man who is out injured. Early exchange is so important that Halifax gets some tackling in early doors, and McDermott feels the weight of that as he drives the ball forward. And Sinfield kicking early, but charged down by Dorahy. Couldn't take the ball in. Was that a knock-on?
Certainly was. Well, that's a shame. He did well.
Not the charge down, the one on the
little half back. Then Dorahy.
Charge down's fine. It's
and he just got a fingertip to that. Took his time, Sinfield. He will be a very relieved loose forward, I can assure you, the skipper of the Leeds outfit.
Dane Dorahy has been a real star of the season for Halifax so far. He's only on a 3-month deal. He's already bagged 3 tries and 11 goals. Duneman, the dummy half. And here is Poaching now for Leeds.
Good defence as well, and this fella Tony Anderson, I'm sure he would have got the message across that the one thing. Oh, that's a bad mistake.
Okay, John.
McDermott, not the best pass, and he taps his head.
Okay.
And you could see there, he just had a little look at Johnny Lawless.
Hang on.
Errol
Look
Powell
inside, Kevin
knows it's
Shay.
not going to be easy tonight. The thing is that Halifax and their coach Tony Anderson, he would have expressed to them, make sure that you stop Leeds getting a roller.
This is Lee Finnerty, the fullback from the Auckland-based Mount Albert club. Big heavy tackle on him by McDermott, who made the mistake which gave Halifax this particular bit of possession, and that's Clayton playing the ball to Lawless. There is McMenemy, here is Andy Hobson, and that's McDonald and Diskin hunting the Halifax ball carrier.
Well, not the best pass. He took the ball standing still, did the prop forward Hobson. I don't think he expected the neat little pass back on the inside.
Chris Birchall off the bench and in the starting lineup today, and Paul Davidson on the bench. The only change from that demolition at Odsal last week for Halifax. Last tackle here for them. Oh, that ball's come free.
Was it knocked out?
Turnover.
It was on the last, so that'll be the turnover. Martin Moana. I think he was
Good.
more interested in sort of trying to milk the penalty, perhaps. Steve Ganson looked to his touch judge, and the flag waiver helped him out. Definitely lost control.
So Leeds in possession again with McDonald here. And here it is, the head-to-head in all meetings since 1973. That's the yardstick we take in rugby league, because it was the time when the game switched back, reverted back to two divisions. But in Super League, Leeds just holding sway, but only just. Halifax have been stern opponents to them over the summer era.
Great run, though, by the second rower, Matt Adamson. I think he's going to have a great season. OK, they're missing Ferner tonight, but the combination of Ferner and Adamson and Sinfield at loose forward, that's one of the best back threes in Super League.
And they have a penalty here, Leeds. There was a second effort. Burrow was tackled. Tackle was completed, and then they had the little second shove.
Okay.
That's why Steve Ganson has given the penalty, and why Leeds will take the 2 points who are on offer. Well, Heath Cruikshank, he played for St Helens in 2001 in the Super League, but he was at Huddersfield last year, helping them win promotion. Actually, Heath Cruikshank, you may remember, he played for St Helens against the New Zealand Tourists at the back end of last year.
Got plenty of experience, that is for sure, though Tony Anderson, his coach, wouldn't be too impressed the way that he went for the second bite, giving this youngster the opportunity.
Sinfield taking over the goal-kicking duties this evening from the injured David Ferner. 4 goals so far this season. The captain is bang in front of the sticks, and that's the first 2 points of the night to the Rhinos.
Some good efforts on the 10 metres.
And they'll receive the football from the kick-off.
Very pleased, Darryl Powell, with the way the season's shaping up so far. Still room for improvement, though, he says, despite their 100% start.
And that's good to see as well. I mentioned in the build-up, Eddie, that when players and coaches think that they've got virtually to the top, that's when they can turn around and you can get bitten on the backside.
With a deep kick-off, and Adamson will run the ball back. Must say, he looks a lot fitter at the start of this season.
Good.
Oh, and there's a problem there. There's a Halifax player clutching the wrist, and he's stayed down on the field. I've got a horrible feeling. Young Brocklehurst it is.
Andy Hobson, come on.
He's in a lot of trouble as well.
Ball is flicked away. Here is Duneman. Here is Keith Senior. He's got Cummins outside him. Support from Burrow inside.
He should have given it to Cummins. He did everything right, but he picked out the wrong man.
Brocklehurst has a problem with the wrist.
Andy, come on, effort, mate.
I don't think we'll see him again, Eddie. Sadly, it looks as though it's a bad one. Beautiful pass, though, by McDonald. Now look at the centre. He's looking in the inside. This was try time if Cummins had got it. And coming across on the different angle was the little halfback, Rob Burrow. And that's where he picked it up. Injury, and he knew straight away.
Well, remarkably, Andrew Brocklehurst, he is packing down there in the scrum as a result of that knock-on. Maybe it's not as bad as we at first feared. This, meanwhile, is Danny Halliwell. He faced Leeds twice last year with Warrington.
McDermott's down. He's taking a big knock as the prop forward. He doesn't know where he is. He went in awkward into that last tackle.
Well, it's going to be tough. We predicted that at the start of the match. And so it's turning out. Here's Dorahy now. Good defence from Leeds on that occasion. Duneman low down and McDonald over the top.
The warning signals are there already, though, Eddie. We've seen a beautiful run there by Senior. And that is going to be where their strike power will take this game, I feel.
Dorahy with a high-hanging kick out wide. Connolly is underneath it. Oh, he loses it, Connolly! No, I think that's over the line, I think.
It is.
I don't think they've got this. The referee will hand it on to the video ref.
So let's have a look at that, see if it was grounded or it ran dead.
Well, Connolly took the ball well, and then it just ricocheted away. That would have been interesting.
Oh, to try this.
Well, it's got to be interesting to see whether the player has knocked it forward. If he knocks it forward, then it's a knock-on. Number 2 now. Will they introduce
this
new
Donlan
rule?
Who believes he scored.
But it was Lee Greenwood that put the pressure on. Now, did he deliberately go for that, or are we going to get this new rule situation? He's looking to see whether he went for the ball. I think he does. I think his eyes were on the ball. Now, if he's looking the other way, they may have got away with it. But what a great effort here from Donlan. That would have been a try, because that was contact before the right elbow hits the ground.
Well, that is your view, and Jeff Berry is tonight's video referee.
Well,
it's a spectacular effort by Donlan, and he's looking at this, so it could be a try.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I think he deliberately went for it. That's try time, no worries about that. So will he go back and see it again? If he doesn't, this is what he wants to see. Now, I just get the impression that Greenwood was looking at the football. Oh, did he just bobble that as well? Isn't it amazing what the slow motion can do? There's just a little bobble as well.
Well, I wouldn't like to be the video referee.
I'm going to go for no try.
Donlan thinks he scored, and so do Halifax. And they have! Stuart Donlan, and it's that rule again. It's the way that you interpret the way the ball came free from Connolly, first of all, and then was it a half volley as Donlan put it down? Well, Jeff Berry's in no doubt.
I'm not so sure. It was a high kick, and it looked for all the world. Gary Connolly, and he did take it. I think that Greenwood was looking at that football, deliberately going to launch it. Look at his eyes. His eyes are on the football all the time. How on earth this try has been given is beyond belief. No way could you interpret that new rule into that there when the eyes were on the football. It was a deliberate attempt to knock the ball out, which he did. But fair credit, they've got the try they wanted.
Well, it's an awful rule to interpret one way or the other, that. But Halifax won't be complaining. They have the lead, and this is Dane Dorahy to add the extras. He sliced it the wrong side of the posts. But it's 4-2 to Halifax against the Rhinos. And a very encouraging start for Tony Anderson's men.
OK, lads, onside, wide out.
Well, Donlan, last try was against Castleford here last August. He hadn't scored in 6 until that moment.
Well, a little bit of lady luck, I feel, has gone Halifax's way. We often say, don't we, you take your chances. It was a good kick. And I think Gary Connolly will be somewhat peeved over the decision.
Hobson to drive the ball forward again. That's a great drive from the Halifax prop forward. Lawless waits at dummy half. Well, I don't know. Well, Steve, we can debate this until kingdom come, but that new rule is so difficult to interpret, and interpretation is the key.
Well, as far as I've read it, is that when you're going into a tackle and you look as though you're just going to do the tackle, fair enough, I'll accept that, but you could see quite clearly that the boy had his eyes on the football and he went a deliberate push and got away with it.
He has got away with it because Halifax lead 4-2, and if Leeds wanted a wake-up call, they've just had it. This is McDermott. And remember, Leeds spurned the try opportunity after Senior's run. when Burrow couldn't take it in, when maybe Senior would have been better giving it to Keith Senior. Duneman with a little dab over the top and down the line, and Finnerty will collect this on the bounce. Poaching leading the way with Diskin to bring him down.
Pretty solid chase as well for that football.
Steve, a lot of these players these days wearing these gloves. We've heard your opinion of this new rule. What's your opinion of the gloves that they're allowed to wear now?
Well, it's nice to see that they keep him warm, isn't it?
No, but in wet conditions it might be very, very helpful.
Well, it's like the old rule in regards to golf, isn't it? That if you kneel down on a towel or something, that you get penalised. And it's similar to that. You know, is it helping them? You're not supposed to have anything that can help you.
This is a run here from Cruikshank.
And again, come on.
Downstairs to Phil on the side. What about this, Phil?
Yeah, pretty good start from them. I know that Tony Anderson was critical of his side last week against Bradford's side. He thought they just gave their opponents too much respect, and they certainly they've not come out with that same attitude. They've taken the game to the Leeds Rhinos, and they've taken advantage of the fortune. I disagree with you, Steve-O, too. I think in slow motion it may have looked that Greenwood went for the ball, but surely at full speed he wouldn't be that confident to try and tackle Gary Connolly in that sort of manner. But hey, they've got the decision, it's gone their way.
Well, I've always thought your eyes are bad, Clarkey, so...
yeah, they are. True point, good point.
There is a feeling that, you know, if you look and you look and you look, you can always find a reason to disallow a try, and the video referee then found a reason to give the try. And benefit of the doubt, of course, a new interpretation, benefit of the doubt to the attacking side.
Effort. Come on.
Where did we pick that one up from as well? That's a big problem for officials.
A dab over the top by Sinfield. That was brave by Finnerty.
Was it ever? Sinfield really charging down, and Halifax don't use a sweeper. That's the reason why Sinfield did the little dig over the top. Good tactics.
Second here. Come on.
Well, a good start for Halifax after the demolition at Odsall last week. Here's Dorahy. Just tried to delay the pass. Adamson got to him. Oh, brilliant offload. And here is Moana. He gets it away also to the man we thought was badly injured, Brocklehurst. Oh, two men in the tackle. And Calderwood penalised. Can't do that.
Well, just lack of concentration here. They were trying to drag him towards the touchline, and it just popped out, didn't it? Pretty hard to make a decision though when the ball just pops into your hands, and I think that's what happened. See clearly on the shot from behind the post. Did he lose it? Hard to say.
First now, come on, let's work, Willie.
Two in the tackle. That's why the penalty's given. That's why Halifax have this good possession, or rather position again. This is Birchall once more. Birthday was on Tuesday, 22 years of age. Lawless, the dummy half. It goes wide to Finnerty. Elusive runner, this fullback.
Nice little step off the left foot there.
Lawless again.
Oh, it's a bad one. That's the new rule as well. He was going for the tackle, so that'll be play on. Leeds will have possession. Just when they wanted a good pass. Normally you would get that 99% of the time from Johnny Lawless.
Now then, here goes Cummins. And Cummins breaks through one, breaks through two, but Dorahy gets him.
Well, he should be penalised there. He went on the second.
Connolly now. Good ball. And it's MacDonald. Leeds with 3 tackles left, and they are inside the 20-metre zone. Diskin, Burrow hands it on. Sinfield stabbed to the corner. Great work in the corner there by Greenwood.
Was it ever? It was a tricky ball there from Sinfield, aiming for the corner post, and he read it well, didn't he, Greenwood? Great stuff. Oh, the crowd are lifting for this one. Good work from this kid.
Lawless just has a look to see who produced that big hit. Gets up, trots into dummy half. Now he'll take them on. Well, he's tough as teak is Johnny Lawless. He played in the first ever Super League match in Paris in 1996 for the Sheffield Eagles. This very weekend
And I do believe that, wasn't it Johnny Lawless's six-pack that launched Super League?
Behind you. Wait.
No, Paul Rowley.
Okay. Can't go before my whistle.
I can't take a trick, can I?
Same club, same position, hooker.
Yeah.
But it was Paul Rowley whose six-pack launched it.
Oh, well, they all look alike to me.
People thought it was yours, Steve-O.
More of a battle than a six-pack, Eddie, these days. But this is good work from Halifax, and it's creating a lot of problem for Leeds, though they are making some good ground and getting through a few of the tackles that really they should be going lower at Halifax.
Yes, Halliwell, he couldn't get out of the way. He took a bit of a ride on the back of one of the Leeds players.
Let the advantage triangle those now.
Well, for those fans watching who perhaps don't understand that law, is that once you've made the tackle, you have to roll away out of that particular area. Failed to do that.
Well, a very encouraging start for Halifax here. But Leeds looking to score their first try. Burrow to the substitute Feather. Diskin. Sinfield, good charging run, but great defence from Halifax again. 4 men there combining to bring Adamson down. And another penalty.
Well, someone's got to go in the bin here too.
They're taking a quick Leeds. This is Connolly. Lost it. Did it go backwards?
Yes, according to the referee. Well, that was lucky.
Halifax crowd are going potty. This is poaching. Poaching driving in.
Second clear. Back on.
Scrambling defence, but quite a few of them, Eddie, are going fast. He's got to go to the sin bin here. He's
got to warn them at least.
Well, this is 3 on the trot.
No, the captain.
Now,
who's the captain?
I said in the build-up, this is what Halifax would want to do. Try to make an arm wrestle of it, slow the game down, irritate the opposition.
Yeah. Okay, now
well, they're irritating the official.
1, 2, 3, next one, sin bin.
You
can make a point.
Drives me Mr. Lee calls here, which would be now.
Okay, well, that's a matter of debate. Okay, well, you don't lie on. Dead easy. You know the policies, mate.
Well, the pass from Connolly actually came off the Halifax man.
Yeah.
Is a man. You've got to hold.
You've got to decide whether it was going forward in the first place.
Oh, Burrow only just managed to hang on to that. Here is Chris Feather again. Feather barges his way over. Well, Halifax boo because they're not happy with Stephen Ganson's interpretation of the laws there, but he had no doubts. Halifax are on a warning about the next bit of interference at the play the ball. Someone's in the sin bin, and Chris Feather, that's his first try for the Leeds Rhinos, the major close season signing from Wakefield. Feather over under the posts. Leeds hit the front.
And it all came about because of the lack of discipline. This is the first one. They get Adamson down. Look at that, they're all over the joint. Supposed to let go. Moana, he was hanging around, and then this is the one he said, I've had enough. That's atrocious. He had no option, the referee. That's a little juggle, but that's a poor defence, isn't it? Not the best by Finity. I mentioned earlier that they were falling off a few tackles, and look at that. You can't go high against a big fella like this, Chris Feather.
And Sinfield adds the extras from bang in front. It's 8-4 to the Leeds Rhinos. Chris Feather's try. Didn't get all that many, did he, for Wakefield? 6 in 31, but I suppose not a bad record for a forward. That's his first in Leeds colours. And he was ever present in Wakefield's battle against relegation last year. And despite the fact that he's only 21, that's a pretty good effort. Leeds ahead then now, 8 points to 4 here at the Shay. Duneman gets the pass away. Davidson is on. Diskin at dummy half. Poaching.
Halifax coach Tony Anderson will be livid with the fact that not only did he give away those silly penalties, It was the effort with 2 or 3 players just trying to go high on the big fella Chris Feather.
Rob Burrow on the last. Shuttles the ball to Sinfield. Sinfield with the kick. This will be easy for Finnerty, and it is. Good chase, though, on the kick by the Leeds side, in the shape of Duneman and poaching.
Second.
Well, they really need to get back into this situation. Good run from the dummy half by Johnny Lawless. They've got to make sure that they control. No, that's a bad mistake. It's got to be a knock-on. Another one as well.
No, I think it's a penalty. It's a penalty to Halifax.
You see, Finnerty went.
That's the knock-on.
Yeah.
But there was something happening off the ball that the referee saw there.
Well, obviously somebody was taken out. We'll be able to see it here. Well, you could see the official had already blown the whistle. Had the arm raised.
Here, Halifax again then. And this is McMenemy. Arguably their most consistent player last year, McMenemy. And another penalty here.
Well, he's making the point now, isn't he?
Holding down.
Ball working the ground straight off.
He wants to take control to Steve Ganson. You could see the determination written all over his face. McMenemy couldn't get to his ground. He couldn't get up and play the ball. And at 8-4, this is the right decision. Take the 2 points on offer.
John.
Come at the right time, because it will just slow the pace down, give them a little bit to get themselves reorganised. As their defensive line over the past 10 minutes has not been good.
Dane Doherty then with this opportunity. He doesn't miss them bang in front.
Okay, Johnny. All right, same call down there, won't it?
Halifax 6, Leeds 8. Tighter than a lot of people thought, Phil.
Yeah, and probably a good decision for them to take the 2 points there. The succession of penalties to Leeds had really punctured the Halifax fuel tank, and they did seem to be tiring quite badly. They also need some guys now when they get the ball to try and add it up. I think you could probably pick out the 3 or 4 players who invariably either going to dummy half or put the hand up to take up the ball, as Davidson does here now from the kickoff. That's a big lift to his side. Need some other guys getting in there now, working not just one up, as we'll see Birchall taking it in, but he needs supporting players. If you go back to St Helens last week, one of the features that makes them so dangerous is that very often the guy in with the possession has 2 or 3 players around him in support. Not only does it take off some defenders from him, but it helps to speed up the play of the ball that he then gets.
Bad mistake there by Matt Adamson, going far too high, and he knows it as well as Daryl Powell. So we're in a good position.
8 penalties, 4 apiece, but the referee has been
Come on, boys.
profuse with the whistle.
Yeah.
6 in the last 7 minutes, we make it. Doherty, and here is Finnerty.
First. No, he was well through.
Oh, a bit of an elbow there by Kevin Sinfield.
Davidson. Paul Davidson, 33 years of age. Remember him way back in '98, playing for the emerging England side against Wales at Widnes. Moana, that was a decent pass.
Third on the line.
Been impressed with the way the set moves have been utilised by Halifax.
Lawless fancies it. Driving in. Good defence from Leeds. Still a couple in the bank here. Moana.
Ooh, was that a shepherd?
Doherty. Ball comes free, and Leeds gobble it up.
Trying
in the
to be
shape of Senior.
Trying to be a little bit too fancy there.
London 16-6 down to Wigan after 20 minutes.
Come on,
and here's Ewan Dowes now.
Come on, mate. Good effort, lads.
Feather once more, the try scorer, wrestled to the ground on halfway by Davidson. Disking dummy half.
Daryl Powell has got to get the message out. He knows that the quality of their plays out wide in the centres. We've already seen Senior make an absolute wonderful break, but then came up with a blunder, bad pass.
Duneman with the kick over the top again, but It's only 6 metres, the in-goal area, and ironic cheers for the former Halifax man. Signed in the winter. He was 3 years here. Andrew Duneman, 20 tries in 74 appearances. He was actually in the last Halifax side that beat Leeds in March 2000 on this ground.
Well, I think you'll see a big game
from... what a mistake.
Oh, dearie me. I'm just about to say, I think you'll see a big game from Andrew Duneman. He does know that...
Danny Halliwell won't want to see that.
No, but he does know that Danny Maguire is on the bench. We know all the qualities of that youngster.
Yeah. Okay.
Always makes it better when there's someone behind you, forcing you.
It's Martin Moana, I think, with a problem.
He picked it up a couple of tackles back. Just went in awkward. Just a finger, I think, dislocated. Normally is.
Yeah, we've got to do.
And that's why they're having it taped.
Pack up.
Well, Halifax are screaming. They're saying, well,
here we go.
they want the game to stop, but the officials got it right.
Duneman, wide it goes to Walker. Calderwood's with him. Walker with the great strength there.
Great to see this youngster back in top form.
Could have been penalised there, could Andy Bracklehurst. This is Adamson now.
We haven't seen a dummy in a step from Rob Burrow as yet.
Here he is, Rob Burrow. Not the best ball. Sinfield was covered.
Looked a bit forward as well.
Diskin, wide to Senior. Been in electrifying form this year so far, Senior. Poaching was the dummy half. Burrow, Duneman, bit of open space here. That's a great tackle.
Was it ever? Lawless just launched himself into it.
Burrow, stabbing it through. Good defence, and it's in the shape of Finity again.
Quick thinking as well from Rob Burrow. OK, it wasn't as clinical as he would have liked, but at least it keeps Halifax on their own line. Just got in the way of Davidson.
And here's Davidson now trying to get his team out of trouble. Good tackle there by Doze. Dorahy thought of the kick. That's the ball inside as well, and that is Cruikshank.
We're good.
McMenemy was the dummy half. He'll go for a big kick downfield this time, but Connolly is back. Connolly trying to skirt round the outside. Could have been a flop there by Ryan Clayton. This is Cummins.
We've just been watching the so-called one line of defence that Halifax had in the opening 15 minutes. It's looking a little bit unruly at the moment. Some are going up, others are staying back. You can see that there now.
Chris Feather driving the ball in. Was thinking of the offload. Moana read the script. They go down the right channel with Sinfield, and here is Adamson. Still going, Adamson. Terrific run.
That's his second big run.
Last one here. Sinfield hoists the kick, looking for Keith Senior. Senior got to it, but Halifax have it on the bounce. Good play by McMenemy.
Did well there. It was going all over the shop. It was a good kick. There may have been some doubt as to the position as well of Keith Senior. I just got the impression that he was in front of the kicker.
Third, good effort, come on. Lock in tight.
Lawless is the dummy half.
Halifax quite content to just play out basic football.
And they have a smaller squad than most, but this is quite a stat. No less than 13 men have actually played in all 4 league and cup games so far for Halifax, and 10 of them have been in the same position. I don't know what will happen to Tony Anderson if he gets a rash of injuries, but so far it's been virtually same again, week in, week out. Senior for Leeds.
Second, come on.
There's another Halifax player down.
Come on.
Well, they're going down like 9 pins at the moment.
Third.
This is Diskin. Away from a couple, manages to offload. McDermott.
And the loose forward, McMenemy. He's taking a big knock. They've had to push him out onto the right wing at the moment. So they're going through the wards, I'm afraid.
MacDonald on the charge. MacDonald steps out of another. What a try! He's lost it.
No, it was punched out, I feel.
No, not gone.
4 tackles, well done.
Well, they have blown
that
about
effort.
2 or 3 opportunities, Leeds.
No, it went. Halifax
But what
had
a
him
great
feet.
run.
No, that's the right
The
call.
big
Come on.
thighs just brushed him away.
No, he didn't.
Not the
No,
best
it's
from
Halifax.
Finity. And I
don't
thought
need
that
up
was
there, it's a
deliberately
right.
punched out. It was
I'm saying it's a
one-on-one.
knock-on, so head and feet.
Yet it is. Watch the punch. He really has played well this year.
Moana's eyes were on the ball at all time. Then.
I know, but they get
But
away
there's
with
the
it
knock
now.
on by Rob Burrow.
Yeah,
Come on.
no doubt about
Hey,
that.
hang on.
This
Mate, we can't
is
wait
going
forever. Come
to
on.
create all sorts of problems,
One or the other.
this ruling.
It is. McMenemy's up on his feet.
Okay, stay behind, Rob.
I mean, if it isn't bad enough for a referee to take into consideration all the rules and your interpretations, you know, and we put something extra pressure on their shoulders with this rule.
I mentioned the fact that
Second,
Halifax have been
back
pretty
behind.
injury-free for most
Good
of this
message.
season. But Bill, you have some news for us of 1 or 2 bumps and bruises for Halifax.
Well, Halifax coach Tony Anderson wanted his side to put their bodies on the line in his build-up to this game, and he said that was what was needed, and they really are doing him proud, because 1 or 2 players out there are already showing the bumps and bruises. Heath Cruikshank coming off at the moment, Sean Penkovic going on. I don't think it'll be too long before Shane McMenemy comes off, because the signal went out just a few moments ago that he'd had to come off. He took a big bang and looked very groggy indeed, but he's still out there, I think, so they really are manning the barricades at Halifax. And at the moment, they're managing, Phil, to frustrate Leeds, aren't they?
It's a tremendous effort when you consider the limited resources of the club at the moment. They've just conceded another penalty, but if you look back at the last set of 6, they got 40 to 50 metre gain, a good kick and an enthusiastic chase. They've been penalised for holding down. See Cummings working hard to get up and win that penalty, and the frustration again on Tony Anderson's face. He knows they can't afford to concede many more penalties. Fatigue's setting in, and they are starting to drop off 1 or 2 tackles. I just hope they can hang on till half-time.
Well, what about that from Steve Ganson? Because there's been 10 clean minutes. He gives Halifax another warning.
Whoopee, now he's giving out bonuses. He'll be skinned at Christmas, Will Ganson, if he carries on like that. I mean, what on earth does that send out the message to the players?
First now move.
Be good boys for 10 minutes and then you'll be let off again.
Well, they're on a warning again. The next one is in the bin. Second warning.
Well, we've just got enough time to get 10 minutes of good behaviour from both sides, especially Halifax.
Come on.
Diskin down the right again with Sinfield. That ball was flicked, but well, I think he's got that wrong.
Halifax head and feet. No, it's Halifax head and feet.
Connolly,
No, I'm not
Connolly
about
has
you.
got every right.
It's all right.
There's nothing wrong with
That's going
that.
back.
That's the game.
He picked it up
Sorry,
before
Dick.
it hit the ground. It was Davidson's finger that goes to it.
Okay,
Went back.
hang on.
Now he juggles with it, there's Connolly, but he catches it,
And Davidson
it was
flicks
Davidson
it.
flicks it for the knock-on. Well, he's having a nightmare, I'm afraid, is Mr. Ganson. I only praised him last week.
You did. You said he was improving out of all recognition.
Second. Come on.
I think we should stop the papers to Mr. Ganson's household.
And that went backwards off Halliwell. 16-6 after half an hour. Wigan still. Same score as when we last heard. Here it's 8-6 to Leeds, but the Rhinos in a real scrap for the points. 8 minutes to half-time. Halifax doing well for their coach, Tony Anderson. This is
Certainly
Doherty.
are, and they're putting a big effort into it. They've also tightened up the defence. Anderson obviously getting the message out. It needs to be a good kick and chase, this.
Well, the pass was from Penkovic. The kick was from Moana. There are 4 willing runners, but this is Calderwood. Still not tackled. Now he is by Penkovic.
First. Good.
Connolly.
Second now.
Sean Penkovic working
Hold
hard.
here, right.
Substitute for the 5th time in a row. McDermott driving it in. Offloading. That was touched by a Blue Sox hand. Back to one. He got the help from the touch judge then. This is Willie poaching. Oh,
He's got to go
Finity
for
was
that.
high.
He's got to go for that.
I don't think he will.
That was a deliberate attack to the head.
Okay. Let's get the players in to go
Oh,
over
dearie
there.
me. There was no hint of a
Take him over there. You
grab.
don't
That's the
have to go
forearm.
over there.
Back.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
if it's, I don't know how it's still out there.
Well, the referee is separating the players at the
Okay.
moment.
Well, he's just losing. I mean, that is a sending off offence.
With the captain, mate.
I think it's going to go on report.
Well,
He's anxious, Tony Anderson.
that's a weak option, Eddie. Everybody in this ground saw quite clearly what had happened.
It's on
I
report.
think it was
this.
more instinctive than actually malicious.
Mine goes to
incident's
the
gonna go on report.
Cup-tie
Don't let
Leeds
the league have a
Hull.
look at it. Okay.
He
pull
said it
in.
was more
All right,
instinctive.
we know what we're talking about. It's a penalty. Okay, mate.
It's on report, Lee Finnerty.
Fair play to you, Willie. Well done, mate.
Willie poaching to his credit, and the referee has noticed it. He was straight up on his feet.
Well, again, we see another good break. That's awful.
Well, Gary Connolly had a similar one in the cup tie against Hull, which was classed as instinctive.
And there again, because he'd had, I think it was the first time ever that he'd been up in front of the judiciary.
Well, he was on Steve Prescott, and well, you have to take people's past record into account, surely.
Well, of course, I understand that, but
Once they get to the disciplinary committee,
Yes.
that is.
Okay, with the rock.
still no excuse.
Well, maybe it's denied Leeds a certain try. And it has also denied Leeds 2 points because Sinfield sliced it wide.
Hey, come on, let's
And it's
work
also
hard.
denied Leeds
Ray,
the chance to be playing
Ray,
against 12
Be
men.
careful now. All right, mate.
I've said it often that some of these referees, they just take the easy option, cross their forearms, put it on report.
Well, I do remember Mr. Ganson sending somebody off for something that he didn't do once at Huddersfield when we were there, and you absolutely pilloried him for that.
Okay.
Well,
But he knows you're here. And to be fair, it's on report. Poaching again.
great to see forwards running like that.
Hold.
It was a great effort. We've seen great run from McDonald. Poaching coming into it. You just get the feeling that this Halifax side will just absolutely fall apart if Leeds get 2 quick tries or a quick one just before half-time.
Third.
Jamie
Jeff,
Jones,
you've got a
Buchanan.
finger on the button. Take it off, mate, will you?
This is Sinfield.
Great tackle.
Was a great tackle by Penkovic.
Come on.
Diskin, they go down the short side. Connolly loses it. Connolly.
Ball loss.
It's terrific
Jeff.
defence from Halifax. You have to take your hats off to them.
I can hear the commentary, mate. Just a second.
Well, it was definitely pulled away, but it was 1-on-1 from Martin Moana. He's an old stager, is Moana. He knows what it's all about. So's this fella. Well, a couple of errors, though, I must say. You can't be too overcritical of Connolly for mine that allowed Donlan in for that try. I feel it was deliberately knocked from his grasp.
Here's Finnerty.
Second.
Tackled by Duneman. Lawless. Duneman again, but he gets the ball away just the same to Dorahy. Looks over his shoulder, waits for the support. It was there from Anthony Siu.
I say this Leeds defence is pretty solid, and when you see them come out, you'll see that both centres come in on the angle, sort of like the old-fashioned umbrella defence rather than a sliding one.
Kick across field. This will be Francis Cummins's. Well, you have to take your hats off to Halifax. It's been a great effort so far.
Second go.
Well, they've scrambled, haven't they?
That's it, mate.
And those 4 clean breaks that Leeds have produced failed to add another try.
Clear.
And therefore, you've got to admire the way that this Halifax side is scrambling back. They're working hard for each other.
They are, and they're also
Behind Shane.
taking it to the wire in the tackling department. The play the ball. That was a short ball there from Duneman and Connolly.
Great tackle by
Clattered.
McMenemy.
It was. Well, there's Duneman again down this left-hand side, and that just finds touch. Right side of the post. So Leeds will hunt the mistake late in this first half.
All he knows is ground, off by Hart. The Halifax last season, of course. He's a steadying influence, especially with the fact that Leeds have such a youngster in Rob Burrow.
Here's Moana now.
Well, they'll be quite content, I feel, with Halifax just... there'll be a penalty. Got to get out of the way. No good shaking your head. Well, I think scrappy would be a word we'd have to use, Eddie, in this first 40 minutes. Plenty of stoppages, injuries, plenty of penalties, and a couple of stiff arms thrown in.
11 penalties. Leeds have had 6. Halifax with the football.
Second, good, come on.
That's Siu, the brother of Jerry, who played on the Kiwi Tour. This is Davidson.
Good run as well.
Yeah.
I must say, Halifax, they seem to have improved when they brought... Oh, that's an awful pass.
Half-time at Wigan, London ahead. Here is Calderwood.
Just saying that since Penkowicz has come off the bench, looking a lot smarter. He gets through a lot of work as well, not just in attack, but as a good defender.
Cummins couldn't kick that in. Well, they've got dropsy, haven't they, Leeds?
Yep.
Halifax heading feed.
The amazing thing is that Leeds, the players and their coach Gerald Powell, realised they could have been 20, even 30 points up in this first half.
Locking boys,
look at them there, they're clinging on to a 2-point lead. And that could very well change. Counting the seconds down now, maybe
tell Willie to stay long.
They'll be quite happy to run the clock down.
That was flicked off a Leeds player. They're going to have the last set of 6 themselves. Here's Duneman. McMenemy had a grab at him. He was finished off by Lawless. Burrow, the dummy half. Gives it to Senior again. He backs himself with the strength.
Oh, awful pass. Why he even tried is beyond belief. And he doesn't look pleased. Mr. Powell.
There's about 4 in front of me.
He's got the penalty though, Leeds.
Well, this will be a kick to the corner and then up and under.
He's not impressed, Darryl Powell.
Well, he knows he could have this game wrapped up. So many clean breaks.
He's going to go for a goal because the clock is winding its way down towards 40 minutes. Tony Anderson making his way down as well.
What's wrong with the little tap and just get the ball in the air?
Well, maybe it's an indication of the respect that Leeds have for this Halifax side.
Well, they've worked hard.
Mind you, it's going to be a real kick, Steve-O, when you think about it. Sinfield has not only got to obviously go for the 2 points. If he doesn't get the 2 points, he has to kick it dead. Otherwise, a Halifax breakaway.
Okay.
That would be interesting.
Certainly would.
So Sinfield then. This would be probably the kick of his life if he nets this. He's not got the legs. Good on direction, not so good on distance. Finnerty had the same thoughts as us, but takes the tackle. Well, a scrappy first half, but Tony Anderson won't be complaining. He might be complaining that they are 2 points adrift. There's a bit of argy-bargy between the players as they go off at half-time. You get the feeling that it is simmering a little bit out there. But Leeds, so fluent so far this season, are being held by the Halifax side here. They were off to a great start with that Donlan try, but Leeds have the advantage at half of this Super League match at the Shay. Halifax 6, Leeds 8. A somewhat surprising scoreline in many people's books, but Halifax, they really have done well. They've had a real go at the Rhinos, and Tony Anderson, I think the Halifax coach, will be pleased to a degree. He won't be pleased, obviously, that his men are behind, but at least they are on the shirt tails of the Rhinos. Darryl Powell, on the other hand, he looked very anxious to get into the dressing room, and Malcolm Reilly is there as well. They have been playing so well just lately, but they're a little bit out of kilter here tonight. it probably is a little bit closer than many people would have expected. Halifax supposedly were coming here like lambs to the slaughter, but particularly after last week's defeat at Odsal when they shipped in those 11 tries, but they have dug in well. And it was almost predicted for us, wasn't it, by our guest tonight, Brian Noble, the Bradford coach. You thought that maybe you'd hurt them last week and their pride would play a big part in this.
The terrible thing about this game is that the opposition get a chance to have a say as well, don't they? So all the scripts we've written for Leeds, and you come here and there's a lot of pride, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of intensity. The backsides kicked last week, and they'll be there to show that they're not quite as bad as people making out. And that's the great thing about the competition this year. You under-prepare, you'll get beaten. It's as simple as that. And the agenda for Halifax is different to the agenda for Leeds. They've been in their face. I think it's Ryan Clayton has really played in key seniors' face. They've been on top of the Leeds side. They've been hanging on in there, and they've forced a few errors on the Leeds side that you don't normally see. But that's the secret. Can they go in the second half? Because I think if Leeds do get their act together and execute as well as they'd want to do without spilling the ball at crucial times, then we may see the Leeds that we've all been talking about. Now, can Halifax still play in their face and get to the other end of the field? They've only been down the other end of the field once, Halifax, and scored a try. Can they complete a set down there and put Leeds under a bit of pressure, make them anxious, make them look around, look at their friends and think, well, we're in for a really tough night at the Shay? Well, I think we'll find out in the first 10 minutes of this second half.
Do you think Leeds have come here under-prepared? Do you think they have arrived here, not the coaching staff, but the players? Do you think they've arrived here and thought, we've only got to turn up and win?
No, I don't think that at all. I think Darryl Powell will be showing us some stat sheets there saying you're just not controlling the ball well enough to give you a chance to play where we want to. I do actually think they're winning the ascendancy in respect of field position. They're winning the fact that they're getting down the other end and then they're spilling the ball at crucial times. I just think that the other mob, Halifax, this is their home ground. You can't come here and do things to them. They'll be tough here. Most teams will find it difficult to come here, and they'll have a belief. The crowd helps them. Every little play will go their way. The crowd goes up and it gives them a little bit more lift to go on for the next set of sitting. The longer this game goes and Halifax are in it, we may see a surprise. I just feel that, you know, Leeds, Darryl will be composed in there saying, well, this is what we plan to do. This is what we need to do now. Let's get down to the other end of the field and put some points on the board.
Well, a feature of Super League on Sky Sports this year has been the charity that Mr. Stevenson has been giving to the match referees and officials this year. I don't think that charity will last much longer.
Well, we know as the boss, don't we? And I think that he's spoken to both sides more than what the coaches would be doing now at half-time. And I think he should really concentrate on the job in hand. And let's not just put all the blame on that fella, because I think that the video referee, Jeff Berry, has got this wrong. It was a good kick, high kick indeed. And then the good chase put the pressure on Connolly. Now, Connolly takes it well. He thinks, well, this is fine. And you can see in my mind that Greenwood is looking at that ball. He had every intention to push it through. Good work by Donlan. Did exceptionally well before his right elbow went over the dead-in goal line. This is another angle. Takes it well. Arms up, protects himself. Now, if that's not deliberately pushing the ball away, I don't know what is. Good job I didn't put the house, the pool, or the push bike on that. And fair credit to them. We said before the game started that, you know, Halifax had to get into their faces. They did. Had a little bit of doubt in this Leeds mind. There was always going to be a few problems. But this was sheer strength. This was after 2 warnings. They said the next one, good work from Feather, is strong. Very strong indeed. Now, Ganson, 10 minutes later, did not send. He penalised Halifax for the incident. And this one, I can't believe it. I think that far too many officials are going the easy option. He was in a good position. Everyone else on this ground saw it. And yet, he just crosses his arms and say, I let someone else take that responsibility.
Controversial from Mr. Stevenson. You'd expect nothing else. I wonder what Clarkie's made of it all in the first half, Phil.
Well, a top performance from Halifax, really, and maybe a sub-performance or one that Leeds really won't want to look back on and spend too much time concentrating on, really, for the Rhinos. I just think that the Halifax side, who are battling so hard on and off the field for survival, at times deserve some luck, and I suppose they got them with a try. And the fact that Lee Finnerty stayed on the field, it was important too that he did stay on. He's been one of the most impressive performers, and the infectious enthusiasm really in the Halifax side has helped to provide the energy they needed in the last 15 minutes of that first half as they did begin to tire. But for Leeds, as Brian Noble has pointed out, they've played a lot of the game with good field position but didn't execute well, and maybe a little bit like Brian, I have a fear that if Leeds do start to strike, they could put a lot of points on this this Halifax side. But magnificent effort from the Halifax team, and the half-time came at an important time for them. They needed the rest, and they'll come out. If you notice at the first 15-20 minutes of the game, there was a lot of ball movement from the Halifax side. As they became more tired, there was more so of that, and really just more one-up football. They need to get back to that to cause some problems and ask a lot of questions of the Leeds team in defence.
Indeed, so I think he's with you. If Leeds score early, they might run away with it. If Halifax score early second half, alarm bells.
It just raises the anxiety levels in the Leeds staff. You know, they'll think, we're in for a fight here. So Halifax will look to do that. But to do that, they've got to get to the other end of the field and put some plays on, because they aren't just going to do it with kicking, but kicking will be important for them. It was in the first half. Their kick chase was terrific, and that's the level of their enthusiasm. You look at the Leeds changing room here, and
they're all the forwards having the conference.
Well, the forwards were very effective in that first half by doing their job. We saw some great runs by the props. We also saw a great run from Poaching and, of course, McDermott. I think that's going to be the situation whereby they know they can build on that. But we put doubt in anybody's mind, and you can come up with a shock win. But it's so important. This first 10 minutes of this second half, I can assure you, if Halifax can hold out Leeds, then we could be in for a real shock.
We shall see, won't we? I hope that you'll stay with us for the second half. I'm sure you will, because there's only 2 points in this. And the Aristocats of Leeds, well, they've been shaken to their roots by the scrappers from Halifax. Just a 2-point gap at half-time. Half-time, Tetley's Super League 8, Halifax 6, Leeds 8. A surprising scoreline for many. Halifax 15 missed tackles. And the top performers, McMenemy, doing well for Halifax. Diskin in the tackling department. The breaks, well, so many breaks. Nothing from them really, just a try apiece.
It was interesting to see there that Leeds had 9 clean breaks, and it just showed you that the one thing that Darryl Powell would be pretty pleased about is that they were getting themselves into that position. They were breaking that first line of defence.
I'm sure that will be what Darryl Powell said to them, and we will find out, I'm sure, also from Bill Arthur, who will be earwigging what the two coaches said during half-time. Match is underway, as you can see. Leeds, those forwards who are having a conference looking for the mistake. That was easily off the chest of Moana. Referee making a good decision there. And here now is Siu. He plays the ball to Penkovic, and it's Davidson. Davidson almost through.
Well, we saw on that occasion not one person going for the legs of Davidson. Well, there's nothing better. He'll look for work.
Dorahy with the big hoof downfield. And Calderwood in blistering form this year, young Calderwood, but they're watching him very well. 10 tries in all games, 7 in the Super League for Calderwood, and Senior also has been catching the eye, but he failed to score against Huddersfield. Let's get that half-time news I was talking about, Bill.
Well, the Halifax coach, Tony Anderson, really happy with that first 40 minutes from his side, and he knows that the start of this second is crucial. If they're to hang on to Leeds, to keep them within touching distance, then they really have got to do even better at the start of this second half. Defensively, he was pleased with the effort in the first 40, but he knows that they've also got to try and turn Leeds round and try and gain field position.
That's a difficult bouncing ball, but Finity did really well. And he launches an attack for Halifax and makes 20 glorious metres. Back to you, Bill.
Well, Darryl Powell, Leeds coach, frustrated really by that first 40 minutes. Created 3 good clear-cut opportunities, spurned them all, and he knows they can't afford to do that because this is turning out to be a tough evening. So chances that come their way, they really have got to capitalise on them. But they know that if they can get things together, then they can really take this Halifax side to the cleaners. But they're just getting a little bit frustrated. It's scrappy. They're not being allowed to get any continuity into their game.
Was knocked out by the Leeds man. Was knocked out clearly. It's Halifax head and feet.
Well, that's interesting, the decision from Steve Ganson.
By the Leeds man. I've seen it clearly.
Well, so he's knocked it out. Knocked what out? But that comes under the new ruling.
Exactly. Exactly. There was a little knock-on by McDermott, by the way, but it wasn't given for that. It was given for Jamie Jones-Buchanan, deliberately, in the view of referee Steve Ganson, knocking the ball out.
Third, good, foot on the ball. Kevin, come on.
Here's Davidson, charging through.
I think I need a couple of pills, Eddie, just to keep myself settled.
Siusu looking to try and offload if he can, has to take the tackle in the end. McDonald and Diskin. Penkovic, Dorahy, good dab into open space. Connolly's there. Connolly is trapped in goal.
Good work from Danny Halliwell as well. He knows the importance of getting the kicking right and applying the pressure, and it was good work there. Bobbled all over the place, didn't it, for Gary Connolly?
Great kick from Dorahy.
Yeah, the little halfback is controlling things. He controlled it well in the first 15 minutes of the first half, and they put a lot of pressure on this fella.
Drop out from under the post, finds the halfway line, and back they come. And Tony Anderson, 41 years of age, his first head coach's position here. He left Hull last August, and of course he secured Halifax's Super League future, part of the last great era here in the late 80s, winning Cup and League honours and playing in a Premiership final at Elland Road, and totally committed to the cause. This is McMenemy.
Well, threw a beautiful dummy there. Oh, that's a good hit there by Jones. Buchanan. I must say, if I was Halifax now, I'd be looking for the 1 point. That way you get another set of 6 from the kickoff.
Connolly tidying up well, going to ground this time before he could be carted back over the try line. This is Chev Walker.
Well, they've upped the tempo in their defensive pattern as well of Halifax. Obviously the talk by the coach at half-time
well,
is
now then, he's in the bin.
He's got to go, hasn't he?
Paul Davidson is in the bin.
Can't keep doing that, having repeated efforts. Go on, mate.
I think he's right, the referee, but Davidson is very unhappy about it.
Yeah, well, he put the left leg right over the top. Nothing that would help. So Walker couldn't get up and play the ball. He'd be disappointed, Anderson, because not only has he lost a player for 10 minutes, but the fact is that this will allow Leeds to get into a good attacking position. And he knows that they needed to play well in the opening 10 minutes. If they could hold on to it and put a bit of doubt in this Leeds outfit, put it in their minds, and maybe more mistakes will come from it. And that's the point what I was trying to make, when, you know, go the 1 point, come back up and receive the football.
Oh, McDermott did well then, getting it away to Burrow. This is Sinfield, and here is Doze again. I'm sorry, Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Sinfield, Walker, cuts in field. The Halifax defence stands firm. Sinfield waits. McDonald, using that big frame of his, offloading to Sinfield, switches in direction to McDermott. McDermott with a dummy, bounces one out of the way. What a try! What a try from the big fellow! McDermott with the try. His 150th Super League appearance tonight, and he crowns it with a fine try. His first try of the year as well.
Don't come much better than this. Sheer strength. Good work, build up there from McDonald that got the offload. Sinfield then took it away. But look at this. You can't go high on a big fella like that, and that's what they tried to do. Dorahy says, come here. What a dummy. He'll be watching this a few times, I'll tell you. Momentum takes him over. And no doubt in the mind of Steve Ganson. Well, that's a shame, because I made that point. Halifax keeping them penned down in their own quarter, give away the penalty, lose the player for 10 minutes, and Leeds come back. It's so important to get your positional play right.
And Davidson in the sin bin. Halifax down to 12. Barry McDermott, the try scorer. Something to talk about on Wednesday, when Barry McDermott is our guest on Boots and All, by the way. He will be with Tommy Martin of St Helens in the studio as Sinfield lines up this conversion attempt, and he improves the try. 14-6 it is to the Rhinos now.
Well, there you see, you suck in 3 players, and that means you're going to have a big problem somewhere down the line. And once the big fella McDonald offloaded, was quick thinking, but look at this, going far too high. Midget against a giant, and it proved that way that strength will get him over. He'll enjoy that, I can assure you.
He will. On from the start tonight, substituting the first 4 of the season, and that try in the cup against Hull. And of course, Barry McDermott, very much the leader of the pack here. He was the man who was holding court in the dressing room. That's good defence from Halifax, though. He was holding court amongst the forward pack in the dressing room. And we'll be talking to Barry and Tommy Martin, boots and all, Wednesday at 8. Sky Sports 2. It's Phil and I this week with our guests.
Great tackle. Bang, bounce them down. McMenemy, they're on a mission. They realise they cannot allow Leeds to get that momentum.
Control defence, come on.
Well, they will have the devil's own job in holding them, because they have
all on there.
Got themselves down to 12 men, and that's a 40-20, I think. That is a 40-20. I'm sure that Kevin Sinfield was inside the 40 zone. Head and feed to Leeds. Great kick.
Outstanding player.
It got a lucky bounce, to be fair.
Sometimes you need it.
Okay, Farmer.
He knew that he caught the winger out of position. And I must say, I don't think that Lee Greenwood realised that it perhaps was a 40-20. A bit of a lapse in concentration there. Now then, will Leeds work the move where they bring someone back on the blind side?
Let's have the right amount of men in the scrum to begin with. Lock in, put them in.
He wants the right amount of men in the scrum, but Halifax, of course, have got a man in the sin bin.
They only had 4, Jeff.
He says they only had 4. Burrow running the line, showing it to 2 or 3. Now he's on his own, spun to the ground by the tackle from Halliwell. Here's the big fella McDonald. Leeds turning up the heat. Poaching. Connolly, Duneman. Sinfield hits the gap, offloads to Duneman again. They've got a 2-1 overlap here.
Oh, what a tackle!
Doherty, and Duneman looked at him. Jamie Jones Buchanan, Chev Walker. Halifax standing firm in defence, but for how much longer? Diskin, long to Burrow. Burrow teasing them, but great stuff from Halifax again.
Well, he threw the dummy. There was no second line of attack. They really should have helped him out there.
Duneman with the kick, and they survive. McMenemy drops on it. And Darryl Powell is furious, and rightly so. Now they've conceded a penalty. Leeds are offside.
Way offside. Wait for them.
Not impressed. Neither is poaching either. Well, they held out well, did Halifax. But you just get the feeling now that all that hard work in the first 40 has taken it out of them, and that's the expression you get when they knew that
that was when they nearly scored.
Yeah. It's a tough life being a coach.
Have you never fancied being a coach, Phil?
No, I haven't, and I don't think anybody listens to me anyway. I know you two never listen to whatever I say.
We hang on every word.
What was that again, Phil?
Hello?
Do you know, I tell you what, I bet every other club wishes they could nurture the character and enthusiasm though that this Halifax side seem to have. Fantastic effort from them at the moment. They saw off the challenge really of a back-to-back try from Leeds. It was crucial that they did that. Leeds would love to put another try straight away on them, and if anything now, they're back on the attack. The crowd behind them, every player really with a chance. Getting a try, and they're right back in this game. Steve Ganson just getting frustrated and annoyed with Wayne McDonald messing around in the play of the ball. You can see the funny side of it, but nobody else in the crowd can. We don't want to continue with more and more penalties. The game to go on.
McDonald, the man who's penalised, and 10 minutes into the second half, London are giving it a real go against Wigan. 24-22 they lead. Well, it makes Warrington's victory last week look very good, that scoreline. And London are doing a witness this year. They're good away. They can't win at home.
Long way to go in that game, though, Eddie.
Indeed, and in this. But at least they're having a go.
And so's this little halfback here, Penkowicz. He's got to go. And I warned them.
They've now got to be on a warning, Leeds.
Captain. It's entirely the same as before. They're on the ground. There's no movement. Go away. I don't need you, Martin. Go away. I don't need you. I don't need you. Go away, please. Right, they're on the ground. You're lying on. You can't do it. It's the same as Halifax before. You're on a final warning. Next one's in the sin bin.
Well, they get away with it, Eddie, because all they've got to do is be good for 10 minutes, remember?
Martin,
Well, that was the case in the first half.
Okay.
The Halifax fans want a 10-minute sin bin.
Okay.
They're going to take the 2 on offer.
And that's the right option. There's still plenty of time.
Mate, you've got more captains than
Well, and they've done the...
in your life. Sort out who it is. Shay McManamy 1 minute, then it's you.
I don't know. How long is it going to be before you hold them down? I don't understand. We'll see plenty of that as the game goes on, because both sides will get pretty tired. It's been a rugged contest, hasn't it?
It has. Halifax should take a lot of credit for this, the way they have rattled Leeds. Leeds have not helped themselves, to be fair, taking a few wrong options, spilling the ball, but Halifax, they've got under their skin. Doherty. 2 points to Halifax. It's a try and a goal, that's all.
He was pretty happy about it as well. He's really worked hard as this fella Davidson. He'll be coming back on in a few seconds.
And the damage has been limited.
Well, to 4 points, in fact, whilst he was on the bench.
Just over a minute to go, and then he'll be back on.
We knew that this Halifax mob was going to get right into the faces of Leeds, and that's why Daryl Powell, the coach, didn't look too happy at half-time.
He doesn't look terribly happy now, 14 minutes into the second half. Sinfield hunting the mistake there, but there's no mistake coming from Birchall. Penkowicz, he's back on. Davidson, he's a bit early, isn't he? If our clock's anything to go by. The referee did stop the clock, but the clock stopping doesn't count in sin binning time. That seems odd to me, Steve-O.
Oh, don't get me involved in that one. I'm in enough bother, I feel.
Connolly now for Leeds.
They've made him work hard. The kicking game's been pretty good, and the chase has been up to the mark as well. That was a very casual player, of course, is Gary Connolly.
Second now, come on.
Jamie Jones-Buchanan. They're missing David Ferner tonight, Leeds.
Yeah, obviously a man of that quality, he's going to be missed, but they just need to get back into the rhythm of things, Leeds. You know, not panic, not trying to pass in impossible situations. They know they've got the strike power out wide.
Committed.
Finnerty stepping out of the challenges. Sinfield caught Doherty late, didn't like it.
I must say, this Lee Finnerty, the full-back, is certainly the will-o'-the-wisp when he gets into the attacking line. Well, they're digging deep for Halifax, and full credit to them.
Warner, nearly a very, well, it was a good pass, and nearly a break by Davidson. McManamy, lovely ball back on the inside. Ball is flicked away. Leeds had it back, do they? Or not? Yes, they do. He tried to flick it, did Cookshank?
Yeah, a little bit too clever, really. Especially with a point where they needed to get a little kick and chase, apply the pressure.
Here's McDermott again. Offloads brilliantly to Diskin. Space here for Danny Maguire. Surrounded by blue and white jerseys.
Third, come on, good. Get up.
Adamson's back.
He should make a difference. He had several good runs in the first half. And that's good thinking.
Kick down the line from Diskin.
Didn't knock on. Did well.
Heath. Not on
To it and made sure that the kick and chase was solid.
Think about it, not too long.
He knows the difficulties that Halifax will have now to try to count the ball downfield.
Kevin, keep it round. Back five.
Dorahy to Finnerty. Maguire gets to him.
First. Good.
Great offload. Turn on his back. In the end was Clayton. Here's Anderson. You know, in many ways that 10-minute breather in the sin bin might have done Davidson the power of good. Good hands. Moana. And Greenwood is tackled on the fourth. Dorahy. Finnerty.
He goes looking for work, doesn't he? But maybe just a little dink over the top. This is the last. Or will they go for position?
They're going for the high kick. He worked wonders for them in the first half. Connolly, wasn't he in goal then?
No, I think he came from the field of play. Yeah, and 1 foot there. It was run over. It's hard to decide. Either way, if this Halifax side keep defending like this, they're still in with a chance. Oh, that's got to be a foul.
Good.
Surely.
Well, it was Birchall with a little swing at the grounded player. This is Adamson.
4. Clear. Come on.
Dowes.
A little more hard work from Leeds in the forwards to set themselves up.
The kick was from Doonerman.
Hold on.
Greenwood has it for Halifax. Good defence from Walker.
First, back
Pretty
here.
good tussle out there in the three-quarter line. Most people, myself included, expected Shay
Second
Walker,
and
Keith
good.
Senior to have a
Come on,
field
let's
day
go,
tonight.
Matt.
And I must say that Donlan and Clayton have worked hard, like little pests
Third.
throughout this game.
Lawless. Dorahy working hard. Dowes
Here,
gets
mate.
to him. Lawless. Good kick from McMenemy. And Connolly has it for Leeds. Now, Calderwood. Speed aplenty for this fellow. Great tackle though by Dorahy.
First, get up. Dane, careful.
Doonerman. Offloads. Connolly. Diskin. Sinfield. They've opened them up.
Scrambling back, quick play of the ball. Sinfield's got that.
Here's Walker. Walker is through. Walker is in. Think that post went down after Walker touchdown.
Whether it's
He
touching
believes
goal
so
or
as
it was
well.
grounded.
It's another job for the video referee, Jeff Berry.
Well, it went pretty low. It was a big hit. Yeah, that's a try. In fact, Walker doesn't actually hit the corner post. Yeah, no doubt about it in my mind. Moana it is that takes the post out, so this will be TRY time. And against the run of play, I must say.
Try is given to Chev Walker. Back to his best. It'll be very interesting when Chris McKenna is fit again for Leeds. McKenna is on the bench down below, still injured. Thinks he might be ready next week. He was telling me just before the start of this.
Well, they kept the ball alive, and this is the key factor to it. That really was good work from Doonerman. And you can see that this Halifax side now, they really are struggling. Neat little pass on the inside. Is that a big match as Matt Diskin? Just got on with his work. And I'm afraid Greenwood's attempt wasn't good. Moana tried to take the big fella. He did well. Kept himself low.
Going well, Chev Walker. Chris McKenna, by the way, can play the back row if necessary. Sinfield with the kick. He's kicked it. 20 points to 8. Leeds just looking like they might have a bit more left in the tank than Halifax, but we shall see.
That was a bitter blow to this Halifax side. And they're creating all sorts of problems and making the opposition frustrated indeed. But it is great to see Walker back to his best. I must say it's going to be a big problem for Daniel Powell, isn't it? You can't really drop a man like that when he's playing so well.
No, indeed not. And he's on the ground tonight, Chev Walker, where he made his Leeds debut as a 16-year-old. Scoreline coming in from the JJB Stadium, and London are ahead after 70 minutes, 30 points to 22. Phil Clark is a former Wigan star, of course. Phil, you still live in the town.
Nervous times for them in the last 10 minutes, if you remember, though, last week in the match against Wakefield, they got out of jail with 2 tries in the closing stages of the game. While London will be conscious of that and wary that they don't allow the Wigan side to come back. Leeds now showing greater ball movement, and Maguire's through.
Maguire is through. He's got options either way, and he gave it straight to the Halifax man. Hobson accepted the gift as well.
Well, he was just trundling back, wasn't he, Hobson? Desperate to try to get into the line of defence, and up it popped from Maguire. Here he comes. I should be in a better position, but you can't beat that one, can you?
Connolly was actually being pulled back as that move continued. Well, Wigan with a problem, and can Leeds push the foot down now, Phil, and win this?
I don't know whether they can put the foot down. Really, it's been a magnificent effort from Halifax. I suppose if Leeds are to be the real deal this season, and at times they need the ability to grind out a win, maybe not play that well, but still come away with the 2 points, because that's what you need in the Tethlis Super League. And it looks at this stage as though they may just be doing that, although this Halifax side don't look like they're going to give up.
No, there is definitely no sign of packing in by Halifax.
But they are looking tired.
They're looking out on their feet.
Yeah, you could see that. There was hardly any chaser going through to apply the pressure to Gary Connolly. With all the time in the world to take that high ball.
Third, clear now. Andy, come on.
Diskin, the dummy half.
Must be really pleasing, you know, for Tony Anderson.
Oh, it's a terrific effort, gutsy display. But, you know, a lot of the teams struggling this year have had their gutsy displays. Wakefield, Widnes, Huddersfield, Halifax, but they've come up empty a few too many times for their coach's liking. Oh, he did well there. Well, he wasn't standing square now.
Here's what he should have been.
Well, I don't know why Calderwood would want to try to do that. Did the tackle. Stands square. Well, he doesn't stand square, does he? Yeah. I think he might get a little bit of a talking to from Mr. Powell after this game, but they're putting on a lot of pressure. They just won't lie down, though, will they?
They won't. Lawless, he will never pack in. This is Hobson, neither will he.
Second move.
Lawless waits again.
And there's still plenty of time. If they can sneak a try here and convert it.
Third, and again, good. Come on, Keith.
Let in with a sniff.
Good ball to Cardis.
Move out.
Dorahy, the dummy half. And here now comes Clayton.
5, here, lads.
Big missed tackle count against Halifax. Amazing when you see that they're still in this match, but they are. Kick out wide from Moana, and that was easy for Cummins in the end.
Did well, eyes on the ball. He's not happy with that option. And rightly so. I think he was looking for something more on the ground, trying to create a problem.
Good.
Took it well, didn't he?
Here goes Connolly. Davidson got to him.
He had a little push at him and threw a quick one.
Down the short side and the ball wide from Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
Frank!
Only found row A. Cummins couldn't get there.
He got a fingertip to it, so he must have been in row B.
You okay?
Just trying to force a pass, really, when they should be consolidated. Grind it out. The win is a win, irrespective of what the opposition keep you doing.
Important set of 6 here for Halifax, and this fellow is danger. Darryl Cardis, knee reconstruction in the close season. Remember him scoring a wonderful try here in the last win against Leeds in 2000.
Second, come on, effort!
Well, they've got to take a gamble. A little bit of individual brilliance.
Moana now to Dorahy. He pops the ball back. Offloads to Lawless. And they really are taking the gamble. This is Cardis.
Well, they've got to.
Third.
Lawless again will attack the line. Here is Clayton once more.
Back on the line.
Another big hit from Kevin Sinfield. He's worked overtime. Got a big match.
A stab through from Moana.
Penalty.
Pulled back. Might get away with it anyway. No, they'll get the penalty.
Send him there.
And someone's in the bin.
No.
Professional foul, no doubt about it.
You come to me.
Maybe. Anderson was looking for the fact that
Jamie Jones-Buchanan it is.
Shouldn't that be a penalty try? I think that was Tony Anderson, the Halifax coach, was saying.
No, he couldn't give them.
Well, look, play on. I think they could have gone over and scored. That's why he's a bit perplexed. Okay, they've got the penalty, but Leeds now, they've got their... they're close.
Dorahy! Forced back by the Leeds defence. This, you get the feeling, is a crucial period of the game. A drive in here from Hobson. Lawless. Back it goes. Went for the interception there, did Maguire. And this is Moana. He offloads it. Lawless went through his legs. Davidson. No knock on. Offside. Offside against Leeds.
Off you about 5 metres at that play, the ball. Get your foot on the back line. Danny Maguire about 5
More
yards
pressure
outside.
on this Leeds line. Quickly taken. This is Clayton.
Well, it's Leeds now out on their feet. Desperation. They're throwing their bodies on the line, both sides. They've got to score now, Halifax, to have any chance.
Moana, they're giving it with Dorahy. Connolly was falling and he managed to get to him. McMenemy waits at dummy half. A dance towards the line here from Moana. He's held up. How did Leeds get him down then? Finity's in the attack. Here's Dorahy. Back this way. Great defence.
Duneman, 2 tackles on the trot.
Last one here for Halifax. A dab through to the in-goal area.
He's knocked on.
He has.
Hasn't done the best game, Gary Connolly. They've applied the pressure. Another set of 6 for the blue and whites.
Well, how much pressure can Leeds take? How much pressure can they soak up?
Well, we saw a shot there of Tony Anderson, the Halifax coach, a few moments ago. Remember when they went for the high kick? It was diffused. He wanted it on the ground, and he's come up with what he needs, and that is possession.
Yet another set of 6. I think it's the 3rd on the row here. Can Halifax make this pay, this possession? This is Cardis.
Well, when you get 18, Eddie, you normally come up with some points.
4th handling error from Connolly. Normally so safe. Normally only makes maximum 1 in a match. That was his 4th, and this is why Halifax have this possession. And here is Hobson!
Oh, so close! He was thinking of plonking that ball down.
Lawless again. Dorahy, big hit!
What a tackle! He's played overtime, this fella, Andrew Duneman, tonight. Against his old club.
Cardis again. Cardis! Cardis just short once more. Last one. Now then, can Halifax get over the line? McMenemy will hoist the kick. Oh, I think that's a waste. And it is. Leeds survive.
18 play the balls. And he knew how important that was, and so did Darryl Powell.
Heroic defence from the Rhinos.
Especially from Duneman.
He'll shake a few feathers, though, here at the Shay, will Tony Anderson and this Halifax team.
First.
Well, everybody watching this now will realise it's not going to be easy here.
Second here, boys.
You know that all sides like to. That's a wonderful defence there again from Duneman. That was his third in that last set of six.
Come on, here's the mark and the mark. That's good.
Diskin. Duneman now from defence to attack. Can he crown the display here by setting up the clinching try? Look at the possession that Halifax have had in this second half. Sinfield, Adamson. Great scrambling defence from them now. Diskin. Well, the referee said the last tackle, and it is the last tackle. It's opened up for McDermott. That's the turnover.
I don't think McDermott realised it, but he saw that line. He wanted his try. The second on the night. He had plenty of men outside him.
You're dummying.
Cardis again.
First, back behind. Behind, lads, come on.
It was all over the place, wasn't it? Did well, though.
Second, good. And again, work and
They
hold.
went low this time, though, didn't they? He was hoping they'd go high. He brushed off Doreen for his first try.
Wayne, hold.
And they're claiming there that ball was spilled by the Halifax man. The touch judge will have none of it. This is Moana, brilliant pass. Donlan, and here now is Greenwood. Flicks it inside. Was that a knock on? No. Yes.
Yeah. It's frustrating. Anderson, just like his players. Super pass, wasn't it, that set this up. Moana there. They got back in numbers, though. Fair credit. Look at that there. I'll tell you what, Phil. This is exciting, isn't it? We're going to have no pushovers this year.
No, fantastic effort from Halifax, really, and it's such a shame. They do deserve some reward for the commitment they put in tonight. I know Darryl Powell and some of the Leeds fans may be disappointed with the performance from the Rhinos, but they'll certainly take credit, really, with the defence on the line to deny Halifax. They tried every single thing they could to get over the line. The Rhinos were just too strong and held them out, as you say, for 18 tackles. That's a magnificent effort from any team. But Halifax, you say, with this sort of commitment and attitude, it's going to be very difficult to play for any team that visits them at the Shay.
Because the biggest problem, Phil, is the fact that so long it gets into the final quarter, and that's when they seem to just drop out of it. But they're fighting for their life.
Oh, Adams.
If anything, Steve-O, they've probably got stronger as the game's gone, haven't they? They've looked better in the second half than they did in the first. And Leeds are, really, if you're a stranger watching this game for the first time, you'd think that Halifax were the team closer to the top of the league than they were to the bottom.
And Adamson just made a bit of a blunder. Full time coming in from the JJB Stadium, and London have beaten Wigan 34-30. First time that they have beaten Wigan at Wigan. What a result that is.
Amazing, isn't it? They were shocking last week, and they knew it. But fair credit to them, they've bounced back.
Hobson.
Deliberate knock on. So they'll be head and feet again.
The pressure on this Leeds line's immense.
It will be pleasing for Darryl Powell in that department, but the amount of mistakes that they've come up with. He knows that they've got to be a little bit more polished if they're going to really take it on with a big
Moana has got support from Dorahy, and Dorahy scored next to the post. What a fantastic effort from Halifax, and they're not out of this yet.
And what a great pass yet again from Martin Moana. And Dorahy, he has had a stormer of a match. Neat little pass on the inside. Knock on from Adamson, deliberately went for the football when he really should have been going for the tackle. And from the resulting scrum, Moana, it's simple, and it threw the dummy. Maguire went far too high. And that's something that both coaches will be looking at this next week. A lot of the players went for the big hit rather than executing the right tackle. Yes, he said. And he knows that there's Still plenty of time. Crucial kick this one though.
And this fellow has scored in every match so far for Halifax, and he adds 2 more points. There's only 6 in it. And this match isn't over yet.
Well, you just get the feeling it was only a matter of time, wasn't it? They must have had, over the last 3 or 4 minutes here, they must have had played the ball, Halifax, about 25 times.
Dane Doherty is only on a 3-month deal, as I say, trying to impress, and boy, hasn't he impressed to have that arrangement extended. But you have to also give a lot of credit to Martin Moana for the pass.
Well, he's come up with 2 superb efforts, hasn't he, in the past couple of minutes.
Well, they deserve something from this. They really do. Here's Siu again. Can Leeds hang on? Can Halifax come back and nick at least a draw?
Good effort.
Hobson with the drive in. McDonald and Sinfield to meet him. Lawless. Nuggety little run from Johnny Lawless.
Good again, good.
Doherty again, full of it now. Here is Cardis, and Cardis was nearly through. Siu again. Good hit by McDonald, that's the last. Expect the hoist to the air and a big chase now. Doherty. And there's the chip. Cardis is after it. Was he taken out? No.
I think he was.
So does the referee now.
He was interfered with. Wait.
He knows they have a chance.
That's the advantage, don't do that. He interfered with him, he went straight across him. Okay.
Quick tap, no need to go for the 2. They're looking for 6 that will give them a draw.
And they fully deserve it. Leeds, they put the cue on the rack.
Lawless. Just and a mistake, a little knock on. And Darryl Cardis, and he's frustrated, and it was so early in the tackle count as well.
Please let him feed.
And they say sorry to his try, but it wasn't the best pass either, was it? It was always dipping down. It's going to be difficult for him. And that's the main reason why I never went into coaching.
So
I'd lost my hair well before then, Eddie.
So frustrated, Tony Anderson, but he is moulding something here, isn't he?
Great spirit.
Here comes Connolly now. Cut down, though, by the tackle from Moana. Leeds know they have been in a match here. Here is Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
Well, maybe Leeds were thinking that they were going to be the cock of the roost, but it's just shown them that they've got to work hard, and they have. Fair credit to them. They were put under a lot of pressure. Okay, they finally wilted. Doherty going underneath the sticks, but they scrambled back as well, didn't they?
Diskin. This is Adamson now.
Well, that was across the chest. Adamson knew it as well.
Sinfield with the dab down the line. Greenwood picks it up. Calderwood gets to him, but he gets the pass away to Cardis, who fumbled, but has the pace. No, he doesn't. And they tried to get him over the line then, just for a last set of 6. Inside the last minute. Breakaway try. That's what Halifax are looking for. Here's Davidson. Doherty. Siu. Wide it goes. They have a man on the overlap here. This is Donlan. Here is Greenwood. And he tried to get the ball away. Duneman will have it for Leeds.
Good work by Wayne McDonald. There's a big hit on him. He was coming back.
Leeds are going to maintain their 100% record. They're going to the top of the table tonight. Connolly takes the tackle. There'll be no time to get the play the ball.
He's all right. Andy, calm down, Court. You've done great.
Well, there is. This is Adamson. And there is the final siren. Leeds have won. But boy, have they been in a battle. They have been in a right scrap for the 2 Super League points here. And poor old Halifax, all that effort and no reward, but a lot of credit for the 80 minutes that we have seen here. Not many will relish coming to the Shay after they've watched this. Tony Anderson has fashioned a team that will give anyone a run for the money on the evidence of this 80 minutes. But Leeds have won. 3 tries they scored to the 2 of Halifax at half-time.